And welcome to another episode of Goats and Rings. Once again, I'm your host, Walt Stringers, Senior Draft Scout for the East West Football Network. And tonight I'm joined by Blake Gardner, college football insider, as well as host of college football show The Blitz every 11 a.m. on Saturday mornings.
Yes,
Blake,
sir.
what's going on with you tonight?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Another wild week of football. This is what we've been waiting for.
I know, man, I know. One quick question. What do you think about, and I know it's off topic real quick. What do you think about college football in the state of Florida right now?
It's at where I thought it was going to be 5 years ago. I thought Florida State was a phase, and especially with Jimbo leaving. Jimbo was the success behind all that. So this is all definitely biased. I'm not going to say none of this is biased, but I Dan Mullen at UF, I figured he'd be the best. I forget Mike Rojas in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I think and he doesn't, I knew in Florida we are competitive. I know when a Florida kid comes out and commits, two of those three teams are going to be on his top 5 commit list. Florida and Miami, or Florida State and Florida. Two of them are going to be on there. Even USF and UCF are really starting to steal some of these bigger guys.
Oh
UCF
yeah,
especially. FAU even, and HBCU, FAMU, Bethune Cookman down here. So I think it's just so much opportunity that if you're down south, it's hard to attract them from anywhere else. Like we were talking about earlier, if you're Notre Dame, yeah, Ohio State, yeah, Oklahoma, or if you're not one of those big names though, why you're not gonna? I mean, the farthest you're probably gonna go from Florida as a Florida football kids down south kids is Georgia, Bama. You're not gonna make it much farther than that, away from home. So Florida's definitely, I think, is that Texas. I know is up there, and a lot of people argue with me and say Texas or maybe Cali. But I definitely think when it comes to pure talent and younger college football, and because of high school football, college football, Florida's the epitome.
Cool. That is a little biased, man, but I can
Definitely.
understand. I can understand. Yeah, like even in Texas, where everyone believes football is king in Texas. But speaking of them Florida boys, so your estimation, what happened Saturday, and why didn't you guys pull it off?
I mean, I love every year we play them. It's never that 14 minus 14.5 spread, irrelevant. Every year we play them, it's pretty much like that. We get the 2.3 possession game spread, and it's just like, oh, why you guys try us like that? I don't know, but honestly, my biggest takeaway from this game was the Emory start and the Emory play all the way through, which I didn't necessarily agree with because, again, everybody saw AR-15, Anthony Richardson. Everybody saw him and what he can do. But I do agree with Moan as far as how can somebody really affect the game if they're switching up, every three.
True.
They're sitting down every 3 series. So I got faith in Mullen, especially as an offensive guy, and I like what he did with Emory. But big reason we didn't win that game was you cannot let Bama get out early. Because if you're always playing from behind with Bama, you're not going to win. 21-3 because of little mistakes early, and that's in a game against any other team, you can make those mistakes and still win the game. But when you playing Bama, you can't have missed tackles in the first. You can't throw picks. You can't throw picks against Bama. You know what I'm saying? But I think defense did a really good job against Bryce Young until later. He got his legs wet, later towards the third and fourth. But we did a real good job actually containing him. Second half, really, really good job containing them. So I really think, a lot of people here, and I'm in Gainesville, that a lot of people were around here saying AR-15 starts that game, we win.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say is, man, I think I'm not as hard on Emory Smith as a lot of other people are. I thought Emory actually played a pretty decent game.
Me too.
He threw the ball pretty efficiently. He had that one bad pick. He ran the ball, almost had 100 yards rushing, but as you mentioned, giving up 21 points. They gave up 21, in the second quarter?
I think it was 14 in the first. I know that. Yeah, I think 21 right there in the second.
Yeah. So that puts pretty much any team behind the 8 ball. But if you look at you guys offensively, you ran the ball well, Very well.
Great,
Very well.
surprisingly.
258, 4 touchdowns against the Nick Saban defense is unheard of.
Hmm.
And like I said, Emory Jones, while he wasn't spectacular, I think he played well enough for you guys to win. It was just also that missed extra point.
That came
That
back and bit us in the ass.
it
That
it
did.
really did. It really
Which sucks because McPherson last year, I forget who was before Mc. Oh, Eddie Pinero. We had
did.
some, we've had some gems right lately. Not necessarily guys that have gone on and played out in the NFL, but we've had some pretty solid kickers. So that's never even been a worry of ours ever. Like as the special teams game messing up the game for us, but like Bama, that's why. Like I said earlier, bro, small mistakes you can make them against other teams and you can come back from them, but Bama. It does not happen. But combined between this game and last game, we've lost to Bama by 6 points, 7 points, one
Oh
possession
yeah,
between this game and last game. So I feel like it just comes down to like that's really where like that little bit of extra talent that the number one team in the nation has, like that's what it shows. Is right there in the end of the game. Like Emory came out second half and looked amazing. I was telling everybody I need to leave listen to Mother. Mother knows what he's talking about. And maybe my other thought was maybe AR-15 give him his 7 to 10 plays like you did FAU and USF. Maybe he gets his 2 touchdowns again, or maybe we won't. So there is some big question marks that could have been different about that game. But overall, start to finish, you lost to Bama by 3.
yeah.
I mean, you can only ask for so much from a team. We expect to win every year, but it's always the list. Bama is the little shit. You cannot mess up. Missed tackles in the backfield where it's supposed to be a 1-yard gain on third down.
Yeah,
Guys,
I was just going to say that.
Chauncey's not missing those. You know what I'm saying? Like when we had guys like that, they're not missing those tackles, and we're kind of young. We're banged up. I know. I said it before the game that night. I literally said Kyer's probably going to be a top 2, if not the first cornerback taken this year in the draft. And that's probably really early for me to say, but like that game will show you right there. He got some pretty bad PIs called on him. He got some pretty early though. And that's what you don't see at the end of the game. You're just like, damn, how did we lose? But first quarter, there's a bad PI called on him on third down. Where him and I forget who he was up against. We're just playing really good defense. Like both of them had their hands on each other. It was a little hitch route. PI, boom, first down. You get Bama another 3 downs. There was another no call, which Trey Dean, I've been on his ass since last year. He's supposed to be a superstar for us, and Trey Dean, he's kind of that star position that Chauncey played last year, but he's more of just that all around. Like we want him to play everywhere, fly around everywhere.
Yeah.
But he was on his ass. With that touchdown where homeboy was wide open on like a little post route, and everybody's like, what the hell happened right there? James Dean got put on his ass by a receiver, and just little stuff like that. You can't do against Bama.
Yeah, I mean, you guys completely killed Bama in the run department.
Demolished them.
But it came down to it, Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson's a man out there, though.
Mm-hmm.
And yards after contact. That's all I kept seeing was yards after contact, yards after contact. Bryce Young played an efficient game. He was 22 for 35, 233. He had a QBR of 117. He didn't turn the ball over. So, things were good. Things were good for Bama. But, Bama seemed every time you guys threw a left hook, Bama seemed to have an uppercut for it.
I feel like the last 3 or 4 matchups with Bama, though, that's how it went. And I really hate to say it, but I feel like I've been a Gator fan for a while, but I feel like we wasted our best offense probably in program history last year with a defense that is usually top 5, top 10 every year, with a defense with Marco Wilson on them that just slipped up and lost so many games, let up so many points. But now the defense wants to stand up this year. 32 points against Bama after you give up 21 in the first 20, 30 minutes of the game. That's impressive. We have some young guys on the D-line. We have some Auburn transfers that I think week 3 is a really hard week to beat Bama. Week 3 early on, but it's also a really good week to beat Bama because it is so early on. So it's just hard. I think we get Georgia this year, and I think we see them again in the SEC championship. But that's another conversation right there.
I got you. So let's go from them to another team that's of course, in the preseason was ranked very, very high and predicted to be right in that national championship playoff mix. Clemson, we're looking at 17 points through 2 games. Your estimation, I'll get my opinion after you. What the hell is going on with Clemson's offense?
I learned his name the other day, but I might butcher it a little. Ungale,
Ooh-wee!
Ungale, Ungi.
Ooh-wee!
He's supposed
DJ.
he's supposed to be a little nicer. He's supposed to be a little nicer from what we from the hype, and it either it's one or the other. It's either Trevor Lawrence was like really good, and we just like didn't recognize it, and he was the reason for Clemson's success, or I don't know. Ungale's just underperforming right now. The D line they just lost. A lot of guys that were so good there for a long time, but against Georgia, one touchdown, and then this game, four
No,
against
3
points, no
3
touchdown
points.
against Georgia. 14 against
G Tech.
Whew. What do you think?
Well, for one, I think the only thing that really saved Clemson's ass that game was the fact that Georgia Tech was just as inept on offense. But I think it's an offense that went through like really heavy turnover, man. They lost Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Jackson Carmen, Amari Rogers, Cornell Powell. That's 5 guys off of offense last year.
Yeah.
And, I think not to mention Justin Ross. Justin Ross missed all of 2020 as well, so he's still getting his feet back under him. And, I think before the season, we all knew DJ was probably the most physically gifted quarterback in all of college football. He still only had 2 starts?
Yeah.
And things looking bad for him. He's still learning. He's going through some growing pains. He's got 1 touchdown in the QBR of 43.7 through 2 games. So he's
last week is understandable. Georgia, that's understandable. Maybe tough first week game coming out. I mean,
what was scary though? What's scary about him to me is that he's looking so erratic downfield. It seems like Dabo has just brought everything closer to the line of scrimmage for him. Because it seems like everything 15 plus yards downfield, his accuracy is just not there right now. I don't know why, but I mean he's ultra talented.
Yeah,
and I think we're all just waiting for it. Like I told Jerry, a year ago, I was told Jerry I called him the number 1 overall pick. Like I've been calling DJ the number 1 pick since high school. Like physically, he looks like the number 1 overall pick.
Literally.
We're just waiting for him. We're waiting for him to come around and get those little nuances, learn how to throw guys open, have more touch, have better anticipation within the pocket, learn how to step up more often, take a little bit off the fastball,
Make a couple plays that aren't makeable plays, like that. You got to do that. So you got to bail your offense out sometimes, especially when you're, touted as this, top of the top guy, like Sam Howell, Spencer Rattler. What I think maybe not Spencer. Spencer has a very high ceiling, and Sam's more of a, just a system quarterback. So I think DJ has like way more potential than both of them, but we have to see it. You know what I'm saying? Especially with a Clemson offense that's been as good as they've been for so long. You're supposed to come step in that spot. And like you said, they lost 5 guys. That's a lot of people don't see that. The average fan don't see that. And it was really hard for me to flip back and forth to watch at least some of that game because 17 points, that's not Clemson ball. And I want to say most of it was in the second half because I want to say the first half was really ugly.
Yeah, so I'm like, you're looking at first year quarterback, pretty much brand new green quarterback, brand new offensive lineman, brand new running game, pretty much brand new wide receiving core. Like I said, Justin Ross is just coming back. DJ has really no chemistry with any of these guys now, and I understand everyone likes to talk about quarterbacks going out and he threw 100 footballs with such and such at a park in Virginia somewhere. But that does not compare with on-field reps.
It's not translate, yeah.
I think won't see the real him until next season.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I think it's so crazy. Like, we are obviously as fans and analysts, we're very critical of these quarterbacks. But minus the couple that are going to be coming out this year, these guys are young. Like Rattler, year 2. JT Daniels, I think, is probably the oldest one that I think.
Well, how old is Carson Strong?
Carson Strong for
Nevada.
Oh yeah, he's him and that. Has he been there for a while? I feel like Carson's been there at least 3 years though. Yeah, him Nevada. And that Nebraska quarterback too, Martinez. He's pretty old too. But as far as like, dang, I guess I'm kind of biased. I want to say big programs, and I'm just thinking like SEC schools and stuff. Like even some of the Big Ten schools, none of these are none of them have 4-year quarterbacks right now. Everybody has sophomore.
No, the Big Ten does, because the Big Ten really doesn't put those guys in the league. So you get those guys at Purdue, those guys at Wisconsin, those guys that play 4 years, those guys at Iowa. It seems like all Iowa quarterbacks play 4 years.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say that's why they're up there right now too. This is the year for that. That's why we're gonna see a lot of change. Like these young guys for these teams that are top teams every year, they all have young quarterbacks. Bama young, Clemson young, Florida. Yeah. This is Emory's first like full start and under Mullen. And he's been with Mullen 3 full years in that system. So a lot of people don't take that into account. AR just got here last year. Like. A lot of people don't take that into account. Emory's been waiting behind Felipe, behind Kyle Trask, who nobody knew was going to be good. He was behind Derek King in high school, never even started high school. So there's a lot of young quarterbacks. Derek King's he's old too, but I don't think he's going to be league material. So he might be one of those undrafted. Or do you think is he draft worthy? Is he draft stock high right now?
I don't think so. I wouldn't take it.
It's bad because we have to go off like your last couple of games. He does have a couple good games under his belt, but not enough. Not enough like these other SEC guys. I think it's gonna be cool to watch college football grow now the next 3-4 years. I think the top 4 is gonna change. Definitely this season. I don't think the top 4 is gonna be the same as it was last. Like Ohio State's gonna be up there, maybe, but Bama's probably. Maybe they got a lot of fighting to do. But out of who else? Okay,
man,
I like Oregon better than Ohio State. Never mind.
Ohio State's got a stable of quarterbacks. Now that's no guarantee they're gonna keep all of them. CJ Stroud is pretty much he's gonna be a starter for at least the next 2 years.
I like Stroud.
I like Stroud too. I'm not sure if Miller may stay. Miller may transfer somewhere else. Was it Jack Miller? I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but Ohio State's got a stable of quarterbacks, stable of wide receivers. They keep some athletes. They keep some athletes at wide receiver, but I think even not to travel too much off the top.
Olave's still there?
Of course.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson's still there. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. waiting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, but, like, to get back to Clemson, is this the most we can expect from Clemson this season, or do you think Clemson fixes it and they have a breakout game maybe next week?
What that you said that perfectly. I don't think they have the breakout game next week. That's fixing it though. You got to start beating people by 21 again. Squeezing these out. Everybody knows how that looks in the playoff people's eyes. Nobody's a big fan of. So we know how that looks in their eyes. One. That's not going to help you. And then B, your strength of schedule. What close game was a really good game for you this year? You know what I'm saying? UNC, maybe. Right. Maybe you get props for it being a close game, but like Miami, you better beat. FSU, you damn sure better beat. Even though they did play Notre Dame close, and I like Mackenzie Miller.
Well, can we say that about Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh? I think they still got a little bit to prove because Tennessee's Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who else did they beat?
Clemson or Tennessee?
I thought you were talking about Pittsburgh, right? Oh, Pittsburgh's in the ACC. Yeah, Pittsburgh. I guess that will be a good game, but like, it's not the strength of schedule is just not there. It's you need to start blowing. That's how Clemson got up there in the top in the first place. When Trevor got there, they started blowing everybody out in the ACC. And everybody was like, whoa, you got to, you want to stay up there, you got to keep doing that. Because ACC at the end of the day is not, I think, Big Ten and SEC are definitely, both ahead of them right now. But for a while, it was ACC. ACC was definitely second. But I don't know. Like you said, I think fixing it is like breakthrough, big game. But you keep squeezing these out. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. But I mean, they could string together a good 4 straight games of 25 plus and get the offense moving and start getting some big plays going. That's my definition of fixing it. But
yeah,
I agree 100%. Ohio State's already got a loss. Clemson's got a loss. Clemson's done. I think unless Clemson goes on some ridiculous offensive tear and they're just killing everybody, I think Clemson's out of it. But for the most part, like I said, these 2 ugly first weeks of the season, I think, could have buried them.
It's hard. It sucks. Like, sometimes you do want to lose early in the season. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to lose later. It's hard to just determine that. Clemson. Let me ask you this. You think the Sweeney era is over? Do you think Trevor was his golden ticket? No?
No, because, I mean, Clemson got some guys in the stable, too, coming behind DJ.
They do for sure. But do they stay a top 10? Do they stay a top 10 program? Or are they like like middle of the pack program after this now? Or do they stay, as one of the powerhouses every year? That's what I mean by Sweeney era.
I think Pittsburgh in the next couple of years could be right on their heels.
Wow, Pittsburgh.
I
mean, I like what I'm seeing.
Pittsburgh's doing a lot of recruiting. I think Virginia Tech is going to slowly come back. And Carolina's not going nowhere. Carolina keeps a top 5 draft. Recruiting class, top 10. So
yeah,
so it's rough. But let's jump to LVDEN, KC, and LA. Right quick in the NFL, your opinion. Who is the best team in the AFC West?
Through 2 weeks, the Raiders. Through 2 weeks, the Raiders. Fidel's watching this or watching this later. You're welcome, and that's through 2 weeks from what I've seen, Derek Carr looks amazing. And you remember a couple months ago how we were all talking about, why is Derek Carr regarded as elite? Why do we regard him as elite? He's got all these 4-12 seasons and under 500 seasons, or right at 500 seasons, But I don't know. I guess when we see him get it going like this, and he can he has that clutch ability. He can kick it into gear in fourth quarter. We watching it. We're watching it for sure.
Do you believe it's the Raiders?
Through 2 weeks, I think at the end of the season, I think Chiefs will probably be the number one.
Yeah. That's what I was going to touch on. I think even though the Raiders and Broncos are both 2-0, I know the Broncos have beaten Jacksonville and the New York Giants. Vegas beat the Ravens in a real close nail biter. And of course they beat Pittsburgh. They won a game against Pittsburgh on the road, which the defense is still there. I'm not sure exactly what Pittsburgh is anymore offensively, especially with being at quarterback. So I'm not absolutely sure what that win over Pittsburgh is going to prove to be over the long run. But I think at the end of the day, I think the Chiefs are they're still the team to beat. I think they're still the best team in that division, best coach, most trusted coach, best quarterback, most trusted quarterback, perhaps best wide receiver in football, perhaps best tight end, if not 1A or 1B. They've got maybe the best defensive tackle in football.
They have the sack leader through 2 weeks.
They have playmakers on the back end and Swanson and Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyron's got to get old one of these days, man.
Yeah,
one of these days that man got to get old, but he's got it in him. That honey badger's still in him for sure. I think as long if they can stay up, that defense can look real good. They got a chance if their defense can stay healthy.
Yeah, and plus I think Arrowhead, and we touched on it. I think we touched on it on my podcast last week, and what happened to the Cleveland Browns. And I was saying I think the Cleveland Browns just got chiefed. You go to Kansas City. That's a hell win to play in. That atmosphere there is kind of like high school, like a high school football game. How it gets there. And it's like even when you think you have the Chiefs, you still really don't have them.
You don't. You don't.
because they have the ability. They always have that 75-yard touchdown card in their back pocket in Tyreek Hill. You know,
Yep.
and I told
Yep.
people before the season started, if Andy Reid starts to consistently give Clyde Edwards-Helaire the ball in the running game as well as in the passing game, if that
Mm-hmm.
offense gets more balanced, nobody is beating that team. Not at least not in the AFC. I don't think anybody's going to Arrowhead and beating that team. Your best bet is to hope Kansas City has some injuries or has some slip ups. They already had one
Yeah.
slip up. They
Mm-hmm.
lost that. Even though I'm not making that big of a deal about they lost to the Ravens. I think that Raven game was sort of a blip. It was kind of like Lamar Jackson's Buster Douglas moment
Yeah, it was just get
against
back. That
Tyson,
was just
kind of.
get back for sure.
You know, it happened. I don't think they're better than Kansas City. I don't think Baltimore really is anywhere near Kansas City if you put them on a neutral field.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams healthy any given Sunday, but yeah, I think right now even the Chargers, it just that loss bothered me, and we're going to talk about that loss in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Denver. I think Denver's defense is built to stay. Teddy, he gives them a calm, steady hand at quarterback. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't think Denver really is going anywhere. That
Yeah.
defense travels. That defense travels, and like I said, I like the Raiders. I like Carr. Carr's playing a whole lot better. But yeah, I'm gonna have to still go with Kansas City.
Yeah, that's the one thing about the Raiders is the Raiders are only going to go as far as Carr takes them because who else shoulders are you going to put it on for that team? Mariota actually
Exactly.
went down. I don't know what his status, but Mariota went down too, so they really don't have backup right now.
True.
So really, I feel like it's only as far as Carr's going to take them. Their defense has played decent over these last couple games, but I think in that Falcons game, Lamar kind of helped them out with that fumble, two fumbles right there in clutch moments, which I don't necessarily. Obviously, defense causes fumbles, but Lamar, you got to hold the ball. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I great through 2 weeks. Great. That's what if you're the Raiders, that's what you want to see through 2 weeks. But I don't think it's sustainable throughout the season. I think throughout the season, at the end of the season, KC's won. Chargers are as long as healthy, they're healthy all year, most of the year. Very close second, within 2 games second, fighting for a wild card. And then Denver and then the Raiders. The Raiders are probably I think everybody though in the league could win almost 10 games this year. Probably not Denver. Denver Raiders now, probably closer to 8 or 9. But I think everybody could be right around 500 or better this year. Pretty
What do you
tough,
think?
pretty tough one.
What do you think about Denver offensively?
I had some question marks about Teddy, but I also at the same time, I feel like I wasn't the only person who had this thought either. I was very surprised that the Panthers just let go of Teddy. I feel like Teddy didn't have a bad year. Like what? I mean, they got rid of him for pretty damn cheap too. Denver actually got to steal. You literally got a starting quarterback that's won you 2 games with what 6th-round pick I think it was.
Yeah.
That's won you 2 games. So I think a lot of people are sleeping on Teddy. It's kind of like that Tyrod situation too down in Houston. Everybody thinks Tyrod's not starting because he wasn't good. No, Tyrod, our training staff stabbed him in the lung with an adrenaline shot and missed it. Just stabbed his lung and put him out. So a lot of people were sleeping on Tyrod this year too, and Tyrod's not doing this damn thing in Houston right now.
Oh yeah, he's another calm, steady hand. I think the whole hang up with not Teddy, but the whole hang up with Tyrod is his whole career is the fact that Tyrod doesn't take enough chances. He's too calm.
Yeah.
He's too clean. He's a little too clean, which is scary because when he gets going, he has one of the best, prettiest deep balls in football. And I've been telling
Mm-hmm.
Tyrod can let the ball go. He just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't let it go enough. But as far as that division, it's hard to really. You look at the head coaching situation. You look at Vic Fangio, and
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at Chucky, and you're looking at the fact that the Chargers have a first-year head coach, and it seems that he's changed the offense around, and they're not going to be some chuck it downfield team. And
Yeah.
everything points towards Kansas City still owning this division. I think
This year, yeah.
Until Herbert's ready. I think once Herbert's next in line to me.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they can take care of him.
Which that O line, they've been looking. We don't have too many pressures on them. I know Slater through 2 weeks, especially against Chase Young. No pressures against Chase Young. So
that man for real.
bad. He did that shit at Northwestern though. I didn't know that. That's been a thing since Northwestern. He's always had the upper hand against Chase. So great ladies on our team. Honestly, I right now over Panay. Was you like Panay still over Slater so far through
Man,
2
hell
weeks?
yeah. I'm
Oh,
riding.
okay.
I'm riding with the dancing bear. I'm cool.
Okay. All right.
I'm
I like
cool,
Sewell
man.
too. I wanted Sewell because they're both Oregon boys. So they had a
Yeah,
lot of chemistry going into it. But
yeah.
it was good
It's
stuff.
crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm still riding with Sewell, man. That's my guy. Sewell been my guy for a minute now. He
Yeah, I
played
like
great
Sewell.
against Bosa. He played pretty good last night also. So
Yeah, Jared.
Golf's only been sacked. He only sacked once yesterday, and he's been sacked I think 4 times through 2 games, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So
He had a lot. He had a couple mess ups. I think probably blaming on the rain, but he had a couple mess ups there late and let Aaron Jones get a little too hot.
mm. So we're gonna stick with your boys and the Chargers, man. I'm gonna jump straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened yesterday, overall in that game? Period.
Oh man, I don't want to say it's typical Chargers because we have definitely had a culture change since Phillip losing by 7, under 7 points every game. We've definitely changed since then. But Eckler was what, 7th best fantasy running back supposedly coming into the season. I thought he was way overranked. I thought this before the season. Eckler's a really good pass catching back, and that may be why he gets some fantasy love. But we really don't have like a very strong rushing game. Larry Roundtree, rookie out of Missouri, has looked pretty good. He looked great in preseason. He's probably our second, probably number 2. Him and Justin Jackson split last weekend, but we don't really have a running game. So you got to throw the ball at Keenan 20 times a game. Mike Williams stepping into his contract is obviously his contract year. Of course he's going to ball. So you got those guys, you got those weapons, and we know Justin's going to do that, but no running game. We got to get running game going. We just paid all them big boys down the middle to get it going. And then defense, as long as we stay healthy, we only gave up 20. So you can't really ask much else from the defense. But I think it literally all circles back to the fourth quarter call by the refs. Tony Romo was there commentating. He literally, him and I forget, I think it was Jeff Nance was up there.
Jim
They
Nance.
literally Jim Nance. Yeah, they were both literally like, is this call? He clearly has a forward pass. Definitely some touching by, I forget who had the pressure on him, but the ball goes 30 yards downfield and Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
The ball goes 30 yards downfield and rolls out the back of the end zone. I don't care if this Madden don't even mess up that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way.
That's what I said when I watched that play. I'm like, that looks like a Madden glitch, man.
Yeah, literally. Like, how do you? It was like you remember the playoffs last year, the Browns. The pass to I don't think it was Peoples Jones, but it was a pass right down on the 1 yard line that he tries to dive in, and somebody from the Chiefs has a helmet to helmet that knocks the ball out, and it fumbles into the back of the end zone, and it's a turnover. That doesn't make sense. Literally, that's what happens. How you throw it 30 yards downfield into the end zone, it's a turnover. It make sense. NFL. I don't remember what Gene Statutor said. I was so mad. I was yelling at the damn TV, but that's right in the fourth quarter. Instead of us scoring on that drive, a touchdown, we have to take 3 and give Dak Prescott, who is on a revenge tour right now. We give him we gave him 2.5 minutes. You give Kirk Cousins 2.5 minutes, I might be a little scared. You know what I'm saying? So and then we even held them to a 56-yard field goal. That's not an easy one to make. They had a great kicker.
Man.
Zerline, he's great. He's been doing it, but any other team might miss that. But that just feels like Chargers. They always lose games like that, bro.
That's what I'm gonna say, man. The Chargers just kept shooting themselves in the foot. I watched that game at my brother's house Sunday. Yesterday, watched the whole game. I came home. I watched the game again on NFL Game Pass, and I came away with the same exact take. Like, the Chargers just keep shooting themselves in the foot, man. And we can start with that last field goal. Considering the fact that I thought Mike McCarthy screwed them over by not calling that timeout. And I'm
Yeah,
sitting
that
there,
was weird.
I'm
That was
sitting there
weird
watching
too.
like here McCarthy goes screwing it up.
He literally had two more plays. He
Yeah,
had
he,
two more
he did.
plays.
He did, but he came through. He kicked that 56 game winner with as time expired. But I'm gonna go back and like a little more into the game. I think Herbert's two picks,
Mm-hmm.
that one pick in the red zone,
Big one.
that can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That can't happen. You're asking him to throw the ball with 51 times, and
You have to.
I keep going back to this. Try, try to stick with the running game. You lost 20-17.
Mm-hmm.
Try. 5 more carries may have gotten you that win. Stick with it. If it's a close game, at least attempt to stick with it. Dallas stuck with it, and they
They
outrushed you
did.
guys
They
198
did.
to 95.
Because we held Zach. We held Zach. First couple quarters, it was great. Zach only had probably, two or three really good runs in that first half. But
Yeah,
you got, like you said, you stick to it. That hold, them holes gonna open up. The big boys get tired in the fourth. Them holes gonna
yes,
open up. And especially
yes.
Eckler. Eckler's a strong ass back. A lot of people don't know that. Pound for pound, he's probably the strongest player on the Chargers. A lot of people don't know that. So you can give Eck that ball down there in the goal line. He's gonna do what it do. But
Yeah.
like you said, yeah, 5 carries might have been the difference in that game. I really, me being a fan, Herbert cannot throw 2 picks, but you give Herbert 3 more plays in the end zone. I don't know.
True,
I don't know. I don't
true.
know if it. I think Dak has to go score a touchdown. I don't think it comes down to 3 points.
Yeah, I think it was a combination. It was a bad elixir of things for you guys.
Mm-hmm,
Then you
mm-hmm,
factor in
mm-hmm.
the 12 penalties. You had 12 penalties for almost
Yeah.
100 yards.
Yep.
The penalties, the pe- the excessiveness with the throwing the ball, the
Mm-hmm.
not cashing in on plays that you should have cashed in on, the
Couple red
take the
zone. Yeah.
yeah, it was a typical Charger loss. That's what it looked like,
It
and
did.
I
It
I don't
did.
get it.
You hate to say it. You hate to see it, but that's what 3 coaches removed and a quarterback removed from them old ways. But that's Chargers probably. Like I guarantee they've just been adding to the stats. So if you looked at the stat from like 2012 to now for like most losses under 7 points, it's probably the Chargers. It's probably them. Actually, the Cowboys are probably up there too, honestly. But it's just those little mistakes, those end of the game, which I'm not too honestly. This is what I'm really happy about. Bosa went down a little bit. I think it was I think he just had a cramp.
Yeah.
But we're healthy. We're healthy through 2 weeks right now. No season-ending
Well,
injuries. No season-ending injuries right now. I mean,
any
as a Chargers
questions about
fan,
you guys offensively? If you look at, okay, I understand Washington,
mm-hmm,
but you look at Washington, you look at Dallas the first 2 weeks of the season, guys didn't really light up the scoreboard.
they
Are
didn't.
you are you concerned?
Concerned, yes, because it's Dallas. I was for sure we were going to beat Dallas by if we didn't beat them by 10, then it was going to be at least a 30 point game. That we were at least going to put points up. But
That's what I thought.
I definitely thought it was going to be a way higher scoring game than that. Which I mean, Derwin highest graded or second highest graded safety through 2 weeks via PFF. So I mean, we look good. Asante Samuel with his first NFL interception this weekend too. So I love
Defensive rookie
Asante
of the
Samuel.
year.
I love Asante Samuel. I honestly didn't even know he was on our draft board, and we picked him in the second. I lost my mind. That was a
Yeah.
great pick. We literally picked a starting corner in the second. But then you got our trade up first pick, Kenneth Murray, right there in the middle. He's still got some growing pains he's got to get through, but he Oklahoma guy. He's real smart. He'll be fine. Jason Tillery, that's Notre Dame guy that I'm very underwhelmed with. He was a first round pick, I think in 18, maybe.
Oh, Jerry Tillery.
Tillery. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tillery. Yeah, I want to say he's a Notre Dame guy that hasn't really done too much. And then we lose Melvin Ingram on a cheap ass deal to the Steelers. And now him and TJ are blowing it up over there. So we do. I think we'll be good defensively as long as we stay healthy. I really like as a Chargers fan, bro. That's all I can be happy about. We stay healthy. We stay healthy through 15 weeks. Then I guarantee we have 9-10 wins this year. And
Well, As usual with you guys got to stay healthy and
Win the close
bonehead
ones.
miscues.
Yeah. The close ones you have to.
And make
And
field goals
we just
and
fired
extra
badly.
points. Make field goals and extra points.
They'll come back and get you for sure.
Yeah. Well, all right, Blake, man, it was a pleasure having you on tonight,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I'm gonna have you on plenty more times for sure.
Oh yeah, just let
As
me know,
usual,
man.
let everybody know exactly what's going on every Saturday on the East West Football Network.
Hey man, these guys do a great job Sunday. I know you guys see it Sunday. You might as well come Saturday morning. It's the same energy, same East West Football Network, man. Saturday morning, the Blitz College Football Morning Show. Philip, a guy on the show, called the Oregon upset. He almost called the Florida upset with me this week. Man, it's a great show. Great way to start your morning off with football. Not everybody wants ESPN every morning. I know this. Trust me. It's hard to hear that College Game Day every morning, every
Right.
Saturday morning. Something different, and that's what we are here at the Blitz. We're gonna give you all the real information, all the picks, we're going to tell you who's definitely gonna win, and we're gonna tell you who's definitely gonna be a really good game. So we definitely a great morning show. Make sure you come check it out. 11 a.m. every Saturday morning.
Well said, brother. Well said. All right.
Yes.
That's the end of Ghosts and Rings for tonight. Until next Tuesday, stand up and stand out.